if they world class, you definitely gonna ask. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, the Canelo Sweepstakes is going down this weekend. You're going to have Zach Parker versus John Ryder in England somewhere. And it's about to pop off because the winner is going to definitely get Canelo. And I'm going to go one step further. Canelo going to want John Ryder. That's who he want. I've told you guys that for about a year and a half now. He's going to want John Ryder because he looks for those types of play of boxers so he can, that's who he wants to fight. And like I just said, if you're world class, they're going to ask. People going to ask who they fought. You mentioned good fighters, great world class fighters like Demetrius Andrade, who they fought. I got somebody asked the other day, who he fought to be champion. Who they fought to be champion is a dumb question, right? Because it don't matter. They're champions with a belt. And if they're easy, what people are insinuating, then someone like a Canelo would want to go get them. Now, wouldn't he? Right? If you're the mandatory for a champion, like Canelo was for Demetrius Andrade at 154, you're going to want him, no matter who he fought to get that belt, right? You're going to want that belt, now wouldn't you? If he's at 160 and you can get one more belt to become undisputed, you're not going to ask who he fought to get that belt. You're going to hope he didn't fight anybody because that means if he didn't fight anybody, he's probably not good in a normal world. But in this world we live in, the ones that are great aren't fighting anybody, right? Now we got Zach Parker and John Ryder. John Ryder's last fight was against Danny Jacobs, and he didn't win it. They gave it to him. Danny Jacobs was robbed, and I'm using the word robbed. All you got to do is go look at it. You don't have to look at me. Go look at it, John Ryder and Danny Jacobs. And I said then, since then, the reason why no one's outraged is because John Ryder is going to be Canelo's next opponent, right? And that's who he wants because he's not that much puncher power. He has 5 losses, and he's not that extremely tall, right? That's the whole issue here. That's why Canelo said, tune-up and everything. That's what's going down. And here's the deal. If Demetrius Andrade would have fought Zach Parker, which I'm glad he didn't, not for under 200,000 euros, 200,000, that's under Demetrius Andrade's niveau, and you guys know it. But that's why they just got him out of there, so we could make sure he doesn't fight. As soon as John Ryder gets installed, this fight is considered the fight, that Canelo is going to fight the winner. Right? Wait a minute, well, the WBO mandatory shouldn't be enforced quicker than the WBA regular title holder, which is David Morrell. Nothing's happening there, right? WBC and David Benavidez, that's been a long time, longer than the WBO. There's nothing happening there. We'll probably ask Demetrius Andrade, David Morrell, and David Benavidez, the fighters that are good, very good, who the hell they fought? How did they get their titles, right? So that's just a normal thing that's going down, and I just want to make sure that you guys are clear on that. That's why, Zach Parker, John Ryder fight, I'm not interested whatsoever because I already know what it's all about. We're going to have to stop doing this. There's so many fighters that are just picking and choosing who they want. And listen, I'm sorry to say it, but it's a whole lot of Mexicans. Right? Really, Mexicans, man, really, right now, when you're looking at what Canelo is doing, and that's why the rest are doing that, look at, we could just start. Isaac Cruz, not accepting the fight with Shakur Stevenson. William Cepeda, not accepting the fight with Shakur Stevenson. Bam Bam Rodriguez, going down a weight so he won't fight Gonzalez. Ryan Garcia didn't fight Devin Haney when he was the mandatory. Jaime Munguia won't fight Demetrius Andrade or Jamar Charlo, and he's the mandatory, right? And here's something that's really weird. I just didn't want to say it because I like these guys. I like this guy. But in the welterweight division, we got Terrence Crawford and, Errol Spence, who's about to try to get this undisputed fight. But them other 2 names that are coming behind them that are not old, the young guns that are coming up, you got Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis, right? They're not in the same sanctioning body, but they're both the next 2 best, and we know it. Have you heard anybody really ask for those 2 to fight, right? Why? Why are we not asking for those two to fight? Virgil Ortiz has been the mandatory for Terrence Crawford forever. It's not really asking for that fight, right? But, you know, if not, if you can't get the champions who are busy right now, then you would probably turn your attention to the next best guy. So, but when the champions are finished with Undisputed, one of those guys, Jerome Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz, could fight for Undisputed after they fought each other. No one really wants that now, do they? You got to ask yourself why. So, yeah, Zach Parker and John Ryder are fighting for the Canelo Sweepstakes, while all those great fighters won't be able to even enter the Canelo Sweepstakes. That's boxing for y'all. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.